two teams in the Western Conference, two teams in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, you have going to the conference finals.
All right, Cam, for the conference finals for the West, I have the Suns. I think they're the real deal. I don't think they're a team that should be not getting enough credit. And then I want to say it's between the Jazz and Memphis. And if I got to say it right now, I'm giving it to Memphis.
I think we agree. I was in the like when I watched it, looked up in pregame. I have Memphis. Memphis is on a roll, man. Memphis looks good. The thing is, they're playing as a team. They look like a family out there. And I like
Right.
family teams. I like when teams are like families because I'll take that because I feel like that chemistry, that bonding. I like to ride with it. The Suns, all year long, giving everybody the business. All year
Right.
long. Even when Chris Paul wasn't out there, still giving the business. Now Chris Paul's back. And I saw him, what did he do? Like, was it versus the Sixers or something? He did something. What team did they face? I saw him a highlight that he did. Um, the thing is sometimes I don't like Chris Paul's antics, but man, they've been giving everybody the business. So I have also in the Western. I agree with you. I'll go ahead and talk about the Eastern. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, you're fine. I wanted to hear who you have for the West as well. So I'm glad you agree upon that. And like you said, I think Memphis can beat the Suns for the simple fact. I don't know if the Suns have really recovered from that loss in the finals, like mentally. I think they're on a roll and they're on a rampage, but I think Memphis is the type of team they have enough depth that they can pull something like Milwaukee did, where they might get down a game or two and then they start coming back. Do the Suns have enough mental strength? Have they developed that to say, okay, you know what, we got to put this team away and we can go out and do it? Or are they going to kind of fold under pressure again in that team? And I think the young Memphis team, they just don't care. You know what I mean? They don't care who gets a bucket. They don't care about any of that. They out there trying to hoop and trying to win.
Well,
That's
they
it,
have
plain and
they
simple.
they have a very unselfish team, and every team Steven Adams is on has been kind of a big family dynamic. We watch it because he's I think he's, believe it or not, one of those leaders of the team that people look for, and he's very humble and very
Right.
kind, and he doesn't need to be the star, but he's also probably the strongest person on the court, but doesn't show that he's the enforcer. Like he was in the enforcer where he needs to be, and when he picks somebody up and carries them off, a 7 foot person like they're a baby, everybody knows then they'll mess with this guy. But what I'm interested for is that finals, which I'm hoping for, is like the matchups. Okay, you have Devin Booker out there who can get buckets. You have Ja who can get buckets as well. Do they guard each other, or does Chris Paul still guard Ja? Or do they say no? We'll have our small forward position, or put someone else out there to guard Ja, so those two can facilitate the offense. Um,
Mikal Bridges got to take Ja Morant. Period. In the discussion. Like you can't waste Devin Booker legs on somebody that athletic and that dynamic trying to run around and he's trying to catch bodies. You got to
yeah,
say D Book, go take Desmond Bain, go take Dylan Brooks. A guy who can mid range shooter, not gonna be as explosive as Ja. You say Mikal Bridges, you got to go over there and get this man. Him and Jay Crowder got to go get that man.
yeah. I've been like looking at that because then, so who would you have Chris Paul guard then? Would it be probably Desmond Bain or Dylan
Yeah, it
Brooks?
would be Desmond Baines, Dylan Brooks. It would be one of those guys who Zaire Williams. They're gonna shrink into that corner and they're gonna
Yeah.
wait for Ja to kick it to him for a three. It would be whoever's in the corner. I'm sending Chris Paul if we're running the zone defense. I'm just gonna say go get in the corner and guard the 3-point shooter in the corner. I
And
don't want
so,
you up top. I don't want you up top with
but
John Morant.
so when those big time moments come, though, when those players, like, this is what makes superstar players, like, in
Right.
less than games close, less than 2 minutes, or around 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes, always saw LeBron step up and try to guard the best guy. Sometimes he's successful, sometimes he's not. But you saw superstar and superstar in those last couple minutes because like, it's time to step up. That's what I'm looking for. Is like, what superstar in the Suns steps up, or do they still stick with Miles
They
Bridges? You
stick
think
with it. They
they
still
still
they got to
stick?
stick with him. Still got to stick with him. Like I'm not gonna say Devin Booker couldn't do it because he's been doing it this year. He's been
Yeah,
phenomenal on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. But I gotta say, Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder, that is their role. You know what I mean? That is their main focus and their main role is to be the leading defenders for that team in regards to perimeter defense and um, what is it, front court defense. And
yeah.
you have to put them in a position to say, hey, you guys got to, I know you got 5 fouls, I know you got 4 fouls, but you got to go out here and you got to take this guy on, because unless it's a switch that happens and Devin Booker has to switch on him, I want my best defender, the guys that this is their role, to be on that guy. I would be, if I'm a coach, I'm more comfortable losing that way than I accidentally, or I don't make a game plan enough where Chris Paul has to get put on that island. And I know Chris Paul is not a bad defender by no means. He's very smart. He's still got some quickness to him, but I don't want to put Chris Paul in that position where you got young gun. You know what I mean? We talk about young legs, Cam, sometime, and young legs start to run around.
So also the other matchup I was looking for is the 2 centers. I pronounced the center for the Suns named wrong though.
DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton, thank you. Versus Steven Adams underneath. Like DeAndre Ayton's he's young, he's quick, he's mobile, but I don't think he's as strong as Steven Adams. Steven Adams is a veteran, he's been there for a while. I would like to see that matchup as well, and how that kind of goes. Or do you think they throw out Jared Jackson at DeAndre Ayton?
I think they throw Jared Jackson at DeAndre Ayton for the simple fact Ayton is quicker, and he's quicker, thinner. Yes. He's a bigger guy, but I think he's quicker and has more agility than Steven Adams, especially with Steven Adams, like you talked about, being a veteran, kind of have older legs. I think that would be bad for Steven Adams, just for the fact, let's say something happens, you need your bigs to start running. Steven Adams is going to give it all he got. He's going to sell out, but he still might not be able to get there. Where you have Jaren Jackson, who's I think he's number 1 in block shots for the NBA right now. He's definitely one of the leaders in the defensive player of the year category. Yeah. So I think he has to be out there to take DeAndre Ayton, because he matches up with him size for size. But then skill-wise, offensively, DeAndre Ayton has to worry about guarding him on the other end. It's not like where you get to Steven Adams where you kind of just you worry about him passing it out, or maybe taking some hook shot or something like that. With Jaren Jackson, you got a plethora of things he can do, from shoot to three, the mid-range drive. So I think that works better for the Memphis Grizzlies.
I think
matchup.
I think if they do meet there, we'll also have one game, maybe a quarter, or we'll have one game where we'll see kind of an old school basketball kind of big man in the paint, not between JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo coming off the bench. So you have 2 big guys just bashing each other down below. I think that's what we might see.
I hope JaVale get the minutes. I love JaVale McGee. He's funny. He's athletic. He makes plays. He's been on winning championship teams.
Yes.
The Shaqtin' a Fool messed him up, because everyone's like, oh, it's JaVale McGee, Shaqtin' a Fool. But you got to realize JaVale is athletic. He can get up and down the court for a big dude. He's got some good handles. He's even started working on the 3-point shot and mid-range. So his game is developed the older he's got, and he's a champion. We keep forgetting that JaVale
multiple
McGee
rings,
is multiple rings. Like, this man is an NBA champion. We act like he a bum or something.
So as much as I want to see JaVale, I think JaVale is, again, like you said, he's a little bit more, not the same strength as
Correct.
But Bismack Biyombo, that man, I think him and Steven Adams would be bashing each other like back in the day, like shacking people. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna say it like this: the biggest flex Biyombo did was when he got all that money from Charlotte. When he got all that money from Charlotte, that was he got the biggest flex ever. When I saw his contract, when I said they gave that to Bismack Biyombo.
Yeah.
Bismack, is he finna be the next Surge? He hitting threes and coming down blocking shots, and
so no. I'm hoping for that series. But Irv, hit us with the Eastern Conference teams.